The believer's iron dome of protection. Did you know that we have an iron dome of protection? Because you're going to find out if you stay with me for the next few videos. Now, as a Christian minister, as a Christian, I'm obviously a supporter of Israel, God's chosen people. And way back to the time of Esther, there have been existentialist threats, threatening to wipe out the very existence of God's people. In Esther's time, Haman, the wicked Agagite, descendant of Amalek, wanted to exterminate the Jews, Esther chapter 3 and verse 1. Now Hamas and Hezbollah and other proxies under the leadership of the Iranian government have got exactly the same objective. The Psalmist Asaph in Psalm 83 and verse 4 said this: "Let us wipe Israel off the map and destroy even the memory of her existence." That's what the raging nations are saying against God's people. That's Psalm 83 verse 4. Just recently, however, Iran, although it's usually done its dirty work through proxies, has come out of the shadows and launched ballistic missiles and drones against Israel. Recent reports say that over 90%, and some say 99% of them, were destroyed before even entering Israeli airspace. Now, this wonderful protection came from a multi-layered defense system, which I'm going to briefly describe. Now, this is not spiritual. This is just information that will give you the background for the spiritual comparison I'm going to make. Okay, this multi-layered defense system, the Arrow. Now, this system was developed with the United States to intercept long-range missiles, including ballistic missiles that Iran said it launched just recently, long range. The Arrow operates outside, above the atmosphere, and it's been used in the current war to intercept these long-range missiles. And also by the Houthi militants in Yemen. That's quite a long way. So it's been the Arrow that has been the protection. David Sling, this was also developed with the United States. The David Sling is meant to intercept medium-range missiles, such as those which are possessed by Hezbollah just north of Israel. Not come quite so far, so a different system of the protection is used to shoot them down. The Patriarch, now this is an oldest type of missile defense system. It was used in the first Gulf War in the 1990s to intercept Scud missiles, which were fired by Iraq's leader at the time, Saddam Hussein. The Patriarch system is now used to shoot down aircraft, including drones. Now, the Iron Dome itself, this system, developed by Israel with US backing, specializes in shooting down short-range rockets. Now, of course, these are the ones fired by Hamas just over the border in Gaza. And the Iron Dome system has intercepted thousands of rockets since it was activated in the last 10 years. Thousands of interceptions during the current war against Hamas and Hezbollah. Israel says that the success rate is, as I said, over 90%. There is a new system called the Iron Beam system, which is using laser technology. This is a game changer because it's much cheaper than the existing system, but it's not yet operational. And there's another system which is called the C, capital C, Dome, which is a ship-mounted version of the Iron Dome. It was used in this last war, or the war that's going on at the moment, with Iran. It's used recently in April to protect Eilat, the most southern town in Israel, which had no protection of the Iron Dome, which is over the central part and Jerusalem area, and Tel Aviv. So all this highly sophisticated modern weaponry is part of Israel's physical defense system. It's very visible if you've been watching it on television or on the web, on the computers. You will see it in action during this recent Iran attack. But behind the military, is a spiritual protection. God protects his own nation. And Archangel Michael is known as the great captain or leader of the heavenly hosts of angels who protect Israel. And Jude, the Lord's brother, mentions Michael in Jude 9, Jude chapter 1 verse 9. Other references are in Daniel 10 and 12 and in Revelation 12 verse 7 if you want to look those references up. Now, in Bible terms, I want to now introduce what I'm going to teach, which is a protective dome for not just for the state of Israel, but for the individual Christian believer. Can we live under a protective zone where the devil can't touch us, can't annoy us with sickness and disasters and all the other things that come our way if we're not protected? Well, we'll be looking at two scriptures. Psalm 91, obviously, which many of you know and probably some of you have learned. It's a good idea to memorize this. My wife knows this psalm off by heart. I don't, but I know where it is, and I know certain verses of it. And also we're going to look at a detailed analysis of Job's hedge in Job chapter 1 and verses 8 to 10. Remember that the devil could not attack Job because God had set a hedge against his attacks. Now, how does that hedge work? How do we find our place under the wings of the Almighty of Psalm 91? Are there conditions for finding a place in that protective position? Yes, there are, and I'll be looking at those in detail. So it will be helpful if you could read Psalm 91 and have it in front of you, and also Job chapter 1 verses 8 to 10. You're going to enjoy this because there is a place where we can be protected, and I intend to be in that protected place because I get fed up of the devil's interference in my life, attacking health, finances and relationships, all sorts of stuff. Let's stop it. Let's get under the dome of protection. Amen. You're going to join me, I hope, for the next few videos.